tariffs, 25% on Canada.
After U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed that the tariffs will affect Canada by March 4th. Canada is threatening to cut off electricity exports, and that's a massive deal for both countries.
If they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy.
If things escalate, Canada is prepared to stop sending energy to Michigan, New York, and Wisconsin. No one wants this to happen, but leaders say their top priority is protecting Ontario and the rest of Canada. And if they go through with it? Well, that's fine, but the impact would be huge. This isn't just about electricity, it's about power struggles, politics, and trade relationships between two major allies. Recently, Canadian officials made a bold move, signaling they might cut electricity exports to the U.S. This isn't just a small issue. States like New York, Michigan, and Minnesota depend on Ontario's power. Imagine the chaos if that supply is disrupted. Electricity bills could skyrocket, and we might even see blackouts during peak demand. This isn't just a random threat, it's a strategic play. Canada is using its energy exports as leverage in the ongoing trade war. Experts say this should be a wake-up call. The U.S. has always counted on a steady flow of Canadian energy, but what happens if that suddenly changes? It forces policymakers to rethink their strategy. And the ripple effects could hit industries from manufacturing to tech. Canada's move could completely change how both nations handle trade and energy in the future. Electricity isn't the only energy resource at stake. Let's not forget about oil. Canada supplies a huge amount of crude oil to the U.S. pipelines like Keystone XL and Enbridge keep that supply flowing. Right now, the U.S. imports about 6.1 million barrels of oil daily, and a large share of that comes from Canada. But with new tariffs in place, Canada is considering cutting back on oil exports. And if they follow through, the consequences will be serious. Even a short disruption could send shockwaves through the market. Industries will scramble for alternative suppliers, and that usually means paying more. Higher fuel costs impact everything, from your daily commute to manufacturing costs. This back-and-forth trade battle shows how deeply connected the two countries really are. A small change in oil exports could ripple across the entire economy. Lately, the trade relationship between the U.S. and Canada has been anything but smooth. The U.S. has slapped heavy tariffs on steel, consumer goods, and more. In response, Canada is weighing its own countermeasures, which could hit the U.S. where it hurts, by targeting oil, electricity, and even rare earth metals. This isn't just political theater. It has real consequences for businesses and everyday people. Tariffs drive up prices, disrupt supply chains, and put industries under pressure. The stakes are especially high for industries that rely on stable trade, like auto manufacturing. So the big question is, can the U.S. and Canada find a way to balance economic protection and cooperation? The U.S. and Canada's economies are deeply tied together. The U.S. depends on Canadian energy and raw materials, from crude oil and natural gas to essential minerals like cobalt and lithium. In 2024, reports showed U.S. imports of Canadian energy were at record levels. It's proof that even a superpower like the U.S. can't function in isolation. But here's the catch: this interdependence is a double-edged sword. While it fuels industry, it also creates vulnerabilities. If political tensions lead to energy disruptions, production costs will rise, and consumers will feel the pinch. Keeping trade open is key to economic stability. Any disruption has a domino effect, affecting industries and hitting consumers hard. If Canada follows through on cutting electricity exports, it won't just be energy companies that suffer. Car manufacturers, tech companies, and even small businesses could see major challenges. This is a high-stakes game, and the fallout is real. If Canadian electricity is cut off, production slows, workers lose jobs, and the price of goods rises. It's not just about electricity bills, it's about livelihoods. And if oil exports are restricted, that means higher gas prices, more expensive shipping, and inflation creeping into every part of daily life. The cost of living goes up, and the economy takes a hit. Trade isn't just about moving goods, it's a high-stakes chess game. The U.S. and Canada are making bold moves, trying to protect their interests. With tariffs and countermeasures stacking up, this relationship is getting more complicated by the day. Every decision comes with risks and rewards, and the future of trade is being shaped right now. Canada's threats to cut electricity and oil exports aren't just negotiating tactics. They're part of a larger strategy to push back against U.S. trade policies. And as tensions rise, other countries, like Mexico, are watching closely. These trade disputes could shift the balance of power across North America. The way the U.S. and Canada handle these energy and trade challenges will shape economic stability for years to come. This moment isn't just about tariffs, it's about the future of energy security, manufacturing, and economic growth. How do you think these trade conflicts will affect everyday life? Drop a comment below and let's discuss.